So we were discussing why ARP is important. Now to understand ARP and its communication, now let's take a scenario of the switched environment. Now let's say in our organization or even at our home, we are connected to a switched environment. Now let's say in the LAN environment of the organization, there are 10 systems that are connected. So for these 10 systems, because earlier we used the concept of hubs and other things, but now those devices we are not at all using. We are using mostly the switched environment. So why this switch environment is used? Because switch basically understands the type of devices that that are connected to it, and it will create an isolated channel for all the devices that are connected to it. So basically, it need to understand what are the systems that are connected to it, and accordingly the communication has to be sent one to one. So for this, which also it is a layer 2 device and which understands this ARP technology. And whenever we talk about any kind of devices, I would like to add that now let's say we may be generally listening to these words like layer 2 device or layer 3 device or a layer 4 device or a layer 7 device. So why even when we are talking about these devices, we are also talking about the layers, because according to this TCP/IP protocols, now whenever I talk about layer 2 device, means that particular device will only understand the protocols which are available at the layer 2. Now when I talk about the layer 3 device, it also understands the protocols which are at the layer 3 or nothing but the network layer. If I say the layer 4 device, that means along with that layer 2 and layer 3, it also understands some of the protocols which are available at transport layer. If I talk about a layer 7 device, that means that device is able to understand all the protocols from layer 7 to the lower layers also. So this switch, the switched environment we generally use in our office environments for LAN connectivity are working at layer 2. So why this layer 2 means the switch need to understand what are the systems connected. So now for the switch to actually understand, now let's take a scenario of this. Now let's say for this switch, there are 10 systems that are connected. Now this system A, now let's say there are these 2 systems which are connected to this particular switch. Now this system is trying to send some communication to this particular system. Now the switch in between has to understand where this particular client is connected and where the firewall is connected. Now let's say this is my gateway or nothing but the default gateway which I usually connect if I don't know anything. Or if the communication where we need to send, if we do not know where exactly has to send, it will be sent to the gateway device generally. So this particular client has to send some communication to this particular gateway. Now this switch is connected to both the devices. I cannot directly send the communication from ear to ear. For this, I need to understand where this gateway is connected. Usually we will be only using the IP addressing scheme for actually connecting the devices at a higher level. Now let's say I am trying to ping this particular gateway from the client. Now usually let's say the IP address of this client is 192.168.1.1 and the gateway is 192.168.1.2. Now when I am trying to ping this 192.168.1.2, it has to go through this switch. That means the switch need to understand where my client is connected and where my gateway is also connected, because on a switch I may be having different kind of port switches. Now let's say this is an 8-port switch or it may be a 24-port switch. That means the client is connected one of the port on the switch. Similarly, the gateway is also connected on the other port of the same switch. Now this switch need to understand where these 2 devices are connected, and accordingly the communication has to be sent. Now what happens is, at first the ARP how it comes to start a communication, I'm trying to ping from my client to the gateway. Now whenever I try to ping my communication from my system, this communication will be sent to the port that is connected on the switch. Now this switch or every switch will have this intelligence of understanding the type of communication that is coming in, and accordingly it will try to